We're back with some more lesbian action. And you see, I've got a lot of save files just in case the script gets broken again. Okay, so last time we slept together with our dear EILEEN, and it was a fun night filled with lots of naked bodies and of course moisture from the shower. The classroom lies silent, save for the scratching of pencil against paper. I personally like that sound, like or whatever. I've already finished my math test. The unwillingness to be the first to turn it in being the only thing keeping me glued to my desk. Yeah, there's this thing with schools and all, like everyone's waiting for the first guy to pass his test and then the rest follows. I'm thankful for the chance to rest though. EILEEN's pace as we scooted around the zoo took all my effort to keep up with. And then there was the other business we got up to. The other business. That's the best business you can have. Someone finally brings his paper to the front. Other students following suit soon after. Told you. I quickly joined them, eagerly placing my test on the teacher's desk and packing my things afterwards. The last final of the semester now over, I'm ready to go home and to see EILEEN one last time before she leaves for Colorado. Hey! Uh-oh. The loud voice from behind makes me jump in startlement. Oh, Caprice, hey! My heart slowly moves out of my throat, with Caprice and I starting off together towards art club. I had considered asking EILEEN if we could walk back to her apartment together instead, but I couldn't leave without saying my goodbyes to Caprice and Wallace if I could find him. What brings you to my class anyway? Millie wasn't around, so I got lonely. So I'm the second choice. Well, at least I can be around for her. It's all about priorities. You two really are close, aren't you? Yep, we grew up together, and now we even live together. Millie and me, and Haley. She's our other friend. We take good care of each other. There really are all kinds of relationships. It's so different from high school, where everyone was neatly organized into friends, classmates, or strangers, and we all just lived with our parents. Do you have a roommate? What are they like? I live with a family friend. She is nice, even if she looks a bit rough. No, she looks hot. I have the apartment to myself a lot though. The statement seems to give Caprice food for thought. You shouldn't look so tired. School's finally over for the year. And that's why we're having an extra special art club meeting. Extra special? We're going for an outing. You'll see what I mean. I have a feeling she's working this out as she goes along. I still can't decide if I like the spontaneity of hers. It's endearing, but there's no sense of stability to her like EILEEN has. As we head towards the arts building, we spot EILEEN just outside, busy huffing into her hands and rubbing them together for a little warmth. It takes a moment for her to notice us. EILEEN, hi. As she looks up in my direction, I notice her shoulders relax a little. It wasn't long ago that I only ever saw EILEEN tense and on guard, but now she reflexively relaxes when around me. It's nice. And she's always so tense. For her part, Caprice just bows on ahead without a care in the world. Hey! Notice me! EILEEN tenses right back up as she sees my companion. The moment lost. Still, I'm left rather happy at the effect I have on EILEEN, whether she notices it or not. Afternoon, you two. Caprice, why are you looking at me like that? It's creeping me out. Caprice grabs onto both our shoulders and, to my surprise, directs us away from the arts building. Oh, really? We've had a change of plans. Do I get a say in this? Once again, Caprice either doesn't hear or chooses to ignore the question. I bet she just ignores us. By the time we arrive at my apartment and shirt our coats, it's already dark enough to flick the lights on as we enter. Apart from the sound of passing cars, the only sounds are Caprice's exaggerated sounds of thoughtful inspection. What's this? EILEEN raises an eyebrow as Caprice whips out her phone to take a photo for posterity, the item disappearing into her pants pocket almost as quickly as it appeared. Will you just leave that thing? You've been fiddling with your phone on the way here more than Allison does. Hey. Well, it's true. Caprice gives a thumbs up, but it has the opposite effect if anything. Her agreement is a little too quick, given how stubborn Caprice usually is. So, Rose isn't here then. She drifts in and out. I've given up trying to work out any schedule to it. Maybe she juggles a lot of jobs. Cool posters. They're my roommates. She's been living here longer than me, so the decorations are all hers. A knock on the door rings out. 4 light taps struck with a metronome's timing. Pop, pop, pop. Come in. Door's unlocked. Huh? What's going on? This is my apartment, you know. Yeah. Caprice just grins, drawing a Grimace from EILEEN. That's number 3. Grimace. What did you think I was on my phone for? I called over some friends. This is my apartment. Oh. The old door creaks open, with Millie's head peering into the living room. And it's Wallace. Assured that she's come to the right place, she skips in with the unmistakable figure of Wallace, following her like a giant shadow. Millie, have you heard from Haley? Millie answers as she takes off her coat, Wallace doing the same for his scarf. She's at home, sleeping. Seems like finals tire her out. She never wants to go anywhere. No, I think they don't have the budget for another character. I don't know this Haley, but I feel like I can relate. It's not just about finals or going particular places. Being around people is exhausting in itself. Lately, I've been looking forward to it though, even if it takes a lot out of me. The clinking of bottles draws my attention. Looking downward, showing a 6-pack of bottled beer being carried in one hand, and a plastic bag with a couple of brightly colored nacho packets visible inside. Caprice looks up to the two, surprised just as I am by the present they brought along. Just a little something for the special event. I can't believe you didn't take the Santa hat they were offering, though. I'm not wearing a Santa hat, Christmas or not. Why not? It would have suited you. Don't you start. So this was Caprice's plan, a party to celebrate the end of college for the year. I really would have preferred her to just tell me, but there's also a begrudging respect that she apparently managed to organize all this during the short trip from college to my apartment. That was quick. And Millie's face is weird. I'm about to warn Wallace about Millie casting covetous eyes on his beard when EILEEN leans over and murmurs in my ear. Is a party here going to be a problem for you? Of course, she always looks out for us. She loves us. It'll be fine, I think. Should have invited Rose. Satisfied with my answer, she steps over to the couch and takes a seat with a sigh. Despite my waving off of the concern, I appreciate EILEEN's sense of responsibility. As we talk, Wallace sets down the beer and chips on the table. Caprice wastes no time in scooting over and ripping open the bag, Millie soon following and taking a seat across from her. Her face. The fact she steals one of the beer bottles doesn't go unnoticed. Millie. Just the one. It won't hurt, right? Hey, stop hogging the chips. But I'm hungry. A big girl needs to eat. Wallace just sighs, defeated as the two bicker over the food. I feel a little sorry for him, but given he did bring them, make yourselves at home. You're here anyway. Can't do anything about it. EILEEN gestures for me to join her, jerking her head. Giving up any thought that I could control them, I skip over and take a seat on the cushion next to her. As Eileen turns toward the television, she finds a beer bottle held in front of her face. Looking up to the smiling Wallace offering it, she takes it in her hand. Merry Christmas, Eileen. Cheers. Same to you. Oh, good friends. The two clink their bottles together, popping the lids with a bottle opener on Wallace's keychain before Eileen slouches back into the couch. While the thought passes my mind that the last thing I'd want is an alcohol-fueled mess at my place, those fears are put to rest as the two gently sip away. They're just friends sharing a drink, not party-goers looking to get as drunk as they can. Yeah, you don't need to get drunk. Just sip a little bit. Looking around the room, this sure is low-key for a college party. We're just friends drinking and gossiping. It's nice, far from the wild craziness I expected when I heard the tales about college when growing up. Guess I fell in with the right crowd. Yep. What are you doing hanging out with us losers anyway, Millie? Writing club not doing anything special? They're doing this and that, but most of them seem to have plans. The leader and his friends are graduating, so it's going to be up to me to keep the ship sailing. Sounds like you're going to have your hands full next semester then. Always up for a challenge. Eileen's eyes are creeping me out. Hey, Wallace. Caprice's excited tone as she wolfs down her mouthful of nachos fails to enthuse him. Remember what we talked about at the pizza place? I mean, about your club and all? No. But... No. Millie grins triumphantly at her friend's expense. I feel a little sorry for Wallace being caught in the rivalry. I'm the only one who notices the creak of the door. My attention wholly focused on it as I wonder who's arrived. Part of me worries that Caprice organized for more people to come. The girl now bickering with Millie. Who is it? Oh, it's Rose. As the leather-clad woman steps in, everyone in the room suddenly drops into a dead silence as they stare back at her. It's her apartment. The woman being just as dumbstruck. What? Sup? I struggled to stifle a chuckle, never having seen Rose act so awkwardly before. Everyone, this is my roommate, Rose. Rose, these are my friends from college. The clarification has the intended effect, everyone relaxing as soon as the words are said. It sure is awesome. Sure is some wild party you got going on here. Oh, actually, I'm left wondering what she's doing as she clicks her fingers and dives back for my coat. After a few minutes fishing about, she manages to pluck out my phone. After handing it to me to enter the unlock code, Rose stands back in the corner of the room and holds it up in both hands. We're gonna take a picture. Just gonna take a quick photo for the folks. Smile, guys. Ta-da! Caprice and Millie need no further prompting, leaning towards each other as Caprice flashes a V and gives a toothy grin. Oh, it's us. We're so cute. And Eileen is so packed with a lot of meat. I simply lean towards Eileen as she does the same. As we do, I idly note that this will be our first photo together. Oh. Where's Wallace? Ah, he's there. Ah, this is nice. As Rose brings the camera steady, I can't stop myself from smiling. I spent so long stressing about being away from my family, but before I knew it, I found myself surrounded by a new one. Aww. We're family. You might all be a bit odd, but we get along. I found someone to hold dear, and who cares for me. We're all in this together, celebrating life in my little slice of the city. I finally made a life that I can call my own. Thank you, everyone. Rose, Caprice, Wallace, even Millie. Ta-da! And especially EILEEN. Aww. A world apart. Act 3, a world away. Oh, this is gonna make us lonely again. One thing I hadn't counted on when asking EILEEN if I could come over was how large the distances involved were. I'm already feeling the difference from home. Oh, so we went with EILEEN. I forgot. Colorado and Utah might be right next to each other on a map, but all to be seen between them are vast plains of utterly nothing. With noon approaching and little else around 4 miles as we motored down the endless strip of tarmac, Rose made the executive decision to chance this place for some lunch. We're on a trip. It's a little chintzy for my taste, the faux 50s interior decorated with a mishmash of cheap Americana. But Rose is in her element as she stuffs down another hunk of meat. At least it's quiet beyond the cheerful music, given we have the diner to ourselves. I barely slept all night, not only at the prospect of seeing EILEEN's home, but at this being my first trip so far from my own. Really? Right now, though, I'm just glad to be free of the motorbike's vibration and noise, and that's really tiring. I finally become used to the odd short trip around the city, but this road trip is something else entirely. It's kinda making me hungry. Still getting your bike's legs, huh? It's been 4 hours. Give me a break. 3 more to go. She digs in once more as I groan and try to swing my leg back to life. Yeah, it really hurts my thighs when I ride too long on a motorbike or anything that vibrates. Man, the steaks here are amazing. You're missing out. I think I'll be fine. I take a sip of my milkshake while gauging how best to tackle the huge plate of steaming nachos before me. Buried in cheese, sauce, and sour cream. The jalapenos are carefully picked off and sitting to the side. Oh yeah. Oh, it's the snow. There's not much to see out here as I glance out the window. Just an endless plain stretching out to the horizon, an enthusiastic welcome sign at the otherwise invisible border being all that indicated we'd entered a different state. I didn't know that we were in America. I thought we were in Japan. I don't know why, but when it's anime, you just have to think we're in Japan. I'm not sure what I expected, really. I knew there are no rivers or anything defining the border, but it's a different thing to see that for yourself. It's just so arbitrary. A line on a map, nothing more. Far from being any sort of revelation, it just makes me feel rather silly about being so sheltered. This all probably barely registered to EILEEN as she drove along the lonely highway. We should have come with her. Rose picks up her phone to check the address I gave her once again, forcing down the current chunk of steak she's eating with a giant gulp. Still have a while to go, huh? If it's as close to the big city as you've said, we shouldn't have a problem finding the place. So she's never told you anything about her home, her family? She mentioned her sister once. She scratches the back of her head as she thinks. I don't mean to pry, but I still don't get why she'd come all the way from outside the state to live in Utah. Not that I have anything against the place. I do like it, but it's not exactly where I'd choose if I were her. But coming here just for a community college, that's the part that gets me. I'm not exactly an artist, but from what you've said, she could probably get a scholarship at a proper college. Sounds like she could have probably afford tuition even without one. Yeah, but why? Why then? Rose looks to me for answers, but I have none. When she puts it that way, there are vast stretches of Eileen's past that are total black spots to me. She leaves me to stew as a little as we eat our respective meals, piping up again as she chews. Remember when you asked me about my family a few weeks ago and I blew you off? I feel like I should probably explain that. Not to get too deep into things, I ended up cutting ties with my mom and pop. Given what my family was like, I wanted to have a clean break from them. Clean break. Oh, I'm sorry for bringing it up. Yeah. I made peace with him. I've made peace with it. Don't worry. My point is, failing to remember, she starts circling her fork in the air. The point of all this was... Right, Eileen. I'm just saying that there might be a reason she's cagey about her personal life. I guess that makes sense. My nod earns a comforting grin. Sure, you're a good kid, Allison. I'm sure you'll do fine. In fact, you even taught me a little something. To be honest, I expected to be mothering you around when you first arrived to live with me. That you were some kid I already knew everything about, who I'd be left teaching adult life to. Yeah, I was kinda wrong there. And you've helped me so much. I couldn't have managed without you around, and you've surprised me so much. You made me rethink how much I know about the world and other folks as an adult. I got a little arrogant without even realizing it, and you brought me down to earth. I thought adulthood was about knowing everything, but it's actually about admitting how much you don't know. I wanted to thank you for teaching me that. Oh, we are welcome. Satisfied with their explanation, Rose quickly gets back to her precious steak. Left in thought, I get back to my own food. I didn't realize I could have such an impact on another's life, let alone Rose's. I looked up to her so much that I forgot we're both just smuggling through life together. At least she appreciates us. Eileen's lived so much of her life in a solitary manner that maybe opening up to me isn't as easy. Maybe she just doesn't want to, given her past experiences. Eileen aside, this trip's probably a good thing. It'll push you out of your comfort zone a little. You've already grown in the time I've been bunking with you. Just hang in there, alright? Alright. Thanks. I will. Atta girl. Sharing a smile, we get back to our food. Nice. Of all the people I might have ended up with as a roommate, someone like Rose was among the last I expected. Maybe she's just the sort of person who was best for me. Yeah. High speed. High speed. The two of us find ourselves in a surprisingly quaint little corner of America. A heavily forested town with snow-covered pines visible no matter which direction you look. Wood seems to be the norm for building around here rather than concrete. I find it quite charming, actually. I was worried I'd be awkwardly roaming through some manicured slice of suburbia, but this feels closer to a friendly country town, almost something from one of Eileen's westerns. Just give me a call the day before you want to come back, alright? I will. Thanks again for all this. I know it's a really long way. Rose is so reliable. Don't worry, it's a nice ride out to here. Anyway, might stick around a bit before heading back. As she walks back to her bike, she stops and turns around once more, raising her hand in farewell. Thank you. What about our things though? Did we manage to carry our things on the bike? If you ever want to give me a call, go ahead. It's no problem. I'll be seeing you, Allison. Bye, Rose. Thanks for everything. She beams a smile as she gets back on her bike, fitting her helmet before kicking back the stand. With a flick of her wrist and press of her foot, her bike roars to life. Rose sailing off down the road and around the corner out of sight. Ooh, this is a nice house. I do my best to appear natural as I turn back to the house before me, duffel bag of clothes slung over my shoulder. The scenery around here is nice, and there's hardly a crowd. In fact, I'm the only person around at all. What if you were in the wrong house, though? Now that I get a good look at it, Eileen's house sure is big. My eyes slowly scan around as I slowly make my way down the front garden path, taking in every detail. I guess being outside the city would make bigger houses a little more affordable. Yeah. Ding dong! With a gulp, I gingerly pressed the doorbell beside the solid oaken door, quickly brushing my clothes with my hands afterwards to look as presentable as possible. Even as muffled footsteps approach, I'm trying to flick a little snow from my hair. Aww. He's happy to see us, of course. As Eileen opens the door, I'm greeted by a warm smile. The reflexive reaction at the sight of me makes me feel better already. Fancy seeing you here. I actually just passed by. I made it in the end. Enjoy the bike ride? Yeah, it was great. Yeah. If you ask my thighs, it was great. I don't think I managed to make that very convincing. Looking at each other, I think we both realize we're just making small talk. She leans forward, the two of us sharing a momentary kiss before she nods for me to come in. I hope her family is okay with her being a lesbian. It's strange how much a simple action can feel so nice every time. My heart skipping even from the most gentle peck. Yeah, that happens when you're in the first year of dating. I obediently follow her inside, closing the door behind me as I do. Dad, she's here. It's her sister. She's so cute. Oh, it's a mini Eileen. It's a tiny Eileen. Eileen's cut off by the sound of soft footsteps on carpet rapidly approaching. A small figure suddenly skips around the corner of the stairs and out into the entranceway, nearly barreling straight into Eileen before stopping herself. It's a mini Eileen. With both of us taken by surprise, the small girl examines me. What's with your face? Likely around 10 by the looks of her. It's difficult not to see a bit of Eileen in her face. Hello there. She pushed. She likes us. She quickly shuffles behind Eileen in response, her apprehensive face peering out from safety. Eileen just gives a sigh in response. Welcome to the family. Yes, I will marry into this family. Chicken. The smell of freshly cooked chicken wafts in the air, the skin still steaming away with an appetizing glint. Yum. The line of plates down the center of the table hardly lacks for sides, either, with potato salad, coleslaw lettuce, and other greens. Yum. While I'm thankful for the luxurious dinner before me, it's a rather quick introduction to her family. I can't help but feel intimidated when surrounded by everyone at once. Oh, yeah, that's true. With her father already preparing dinner as Eileen let me in, and her mother arriving from work only soon after, it was unavoidable. That being the case, here we all are, gathered around one big table, without any introductions yet. Well, not exactly a mansion, it's obvious Eileen's family lives very comfortably. I'd probably be green with envy at how well off they are, if not for being so self-conscious of how to act in front of them. It's Dad and Mom. Mom looks kinda cold. I suppose some proper introductions are in order, now that we're all together. I'm Eileen's father, Andrew, and this is my lovely wife, Elizabeth. Oh, she seems nice. A pleasure. And you would be Allison? Oh, yes, Allison Merlo. My nerves seem to amuse her father as he gives a reassuring smile. This isn't a job interview. You can relax. Thank you, Dad. Right. Yeah, sorry. I let out a long breath to try and relax a little, though it doesn't really work. Well, now, let's dig in. I'm no chef, but it hopefully shouldn't give you food poisoning. Dads. Smiling politely at his attempt to lighten the mood, I start to ladle this and that from the large plates, my mouth's already watering at the prospect of so much wonderful smelling food. Rose might be many things, but she isn't a cook. Satisfied with my selection of meat and salads, I pile some potato salad onto my fork and tentatively have a taste. My reactions seem to draw some smiles as I make progress on the meal, but I'm so enamored with the food I can't help but keep going. So, calm down. It's nice to see Eileen's already made friends in college. It's nice to see Eileen's already made friends in college. A brief panic comes over me as I realize we haven't talked this over. Is she out to her parents? Are we going to play this as simply friends? As I mull over how to handle things, Eileen's voice cuts through. Oh. Allison's my girlfriend. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. Oh no. Here's the judgment. Everything seems to stop for a moment. Yes, you should have. I thought you said having a girlfriend wouldn't be a problem. You know, that isn't what I'm talking about. This isn't the first time you've kept us in the dark since moving out. I have to admit that I can sympathize with her mother, which puts me in a delightfully awkward spot. Eileen's father makes no attempt to mediate as he eats, which is probably the best approach. I didn't think I needed to report back on everything I did. Don't you think this is important enough to warrant a phone call? Neither Eileen nor her mother raised their voice, even eating the odd bit of food as they quibble. The argument almost feels routine, which, going by her father's reaction, might well be the case. Even her sister is still eating, albeit with badly hidden glances. I mean, our daughter's first girlfriend. Isn't it nice she's gained something from college? Nice. She looks pointedly to her husband with just an edge of snark to her voice, but he, perhaps smartly, simply acknowledges her with a smile. Dropping that on them here and now is quite a decision. I'm beginning to wonder why I thought this was a good idea. I can't read their parents at all, but I can already tell my presence here is only increasing a tension that usually permeates this household. Well, it's pretty normal, so go on. Well, you know now. At least Eileen dating a girl isn't a problem in and of itself. Eileen's father finally pipes up as their argument peters out, taking a swig of his wine to wash down his food. Setting all that aside, it sounds like college in Yuri is working out well for the both of them. Her father gives a brief chuckle, maybe sensing my tense mood. He seems down to earth and relaxed, especially compared to her mother. That kid is just grumpy. That said, I get a vague feeling of being a foreigner, and not just because I'm in a different city. As if there's a certain social etiquette that I'm not quite aware of, but everyone else is following naturally. Quite. So, tell us about yourself, Allison. Attention now focus on me. I freeze up. I must have expected this would come up. Judging by their conversation, Eileen probably told them nothing about me. This feels like introductions on the first day of elementary school all over again. Let's see. I go to the same college as Eileen. I've lived in the same city my whole life, but I moved a little closer to campus before semester started. So I'm still getting used to that. So you're an art student like Eileen? Oh no, I'm nowhere near her level. I'm actually on a science scholarship. Does she relate to us? Science, huh? Oh, really? I knew it. She sounds immediately interested, her eyebrows raised, but all I can offer is an evasive dodge. I don't know how to say that I'm not really excited about it. even if I apparently have some talent. We are in the art club together though. We met through the mutual friend who made it. I see. Her previous curiosity suddenly hits a wall, her entire demeanor changing. Did I say something wrong? The abrupt change in tone completely breaks my train of thought. Unsure whether to continue or clear things up. Oh. The other problem I have is the feeling of someone's eyes drilling into me. Eileen's mother notices as my eyes shift beside her, hand holding the little girl's back to reassure her. Come on, dear, be polite. The effort doesn't seem to move her, the girl resisting as her suspicious face shrinks behind her daintily patterned children's plate. Don't be silly. My name's Eve. Nice to meet you, Eve. That's a lovely name. I keep smiling, but her pouting shows my charm offensive isn't working out. Once again, Eileen comes to the rescue, speaking up as I try to think of another way to overcome her distrust. Are you going to be like this all night? Eve just huffs and starts shoveling food into her mouth. The size of her spoon and the table before her makes the attempt at her seriousness look more amusing than anything else. Don't mind her. She'll come around. She might say that, but I was hoping her cute little sister might be a little warm towards me. At least her mother has given up questioning me for now. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you. The spare guest room's just been cleaned out a few days ago, so you can use that while you're here. Can't we sleep together? Thank you very much. I'm really sorry to impose so much on you. You have charm going for you, wouldn't you say, Eileen? Eileen grimaces, number 4. Grimace. Her mother embarrassing her in that particular way only a parent knows how. I can already feel my eyelids getting heavy as I lean back into the wonderfully soft couch. The exhaustion of the trip and meeting with Eileen's folks finally catching up to me as I rest in the living room. The fireplace happily crackles away near the Christmas tree, the cozy room all the warmer thanks to the heat of the shower still lingering on my skin. All that can be heard are the fire and the faint clanking of dishes as Eileen's parents wash up, recounting the day's events between them. Oh wow. Wow. Yum yum yum. I very nearly succumbed to my doziness before Eileen walks in, pulling back her still slightly wet hair. Ooh la la. The sight of her in pajamas wakes me up a little. Though I quickly try to move my gaze elsewhere. She practically collapses onto the couch beside me, staring up at the ceiling for a while to collect herself. I catch myself staring at her, but if she minds, she doesn't show it. Yes, let me stare at you. What a day. That goes for both of us. I almost mentioned the argument Eileen had with her mother, but I can't work out how I want to praise it. Maybe it's for the best that Eileen preempts me. So, how was the trip? Now that we can talk properly. The times we stopped were good. You're braver than I am. Couldn't pay me enough to get on one of those things. Ha! Come on, I'm sure you'd be a natural at it. No way. Your roommate's crazy for using it as her only transportation. Your parents seem nice. Uh-oh. I think just works. I wish they were a little more so. About what? Being so specific that they'll use the guest room, not mine. My cheeks flush scarlet as I connect the dots. Did you just realize what that was about? No, but I'm still embarrassed to talk about it. Eileen finds amusement in how flustered I am. Please let me sleep on your room. I bury my face in my hands. Never change. If I had lied and said we were just friends, I wonder if they would have been so adamant about the two of us not sharing a room. I peek at her from behind my hands. I don't really know what to say. I don't know enough about her parents to say anything. Maybe that would have been better, huh? Yeah, so we can sleep together. Her smile returns and she leans in towards me. I can feel my face go redder, and here comes the sister. My heart burning in my chest, all I can do is lean in to meet her. EILEEN closes her eyes, our lips meeting for one brief moment. As I pull back, the two of us look at each other and smile, partly from happiness, and partly from our sheepishness. It's going to be a while before this comes naturally, I guess. Yeah, you should savor the moment. As I watch her though, EILEEN's face slowly collapses into frustration. What's wrong? Uh-oh. Everything's wrong. EILEEN makes no secret of her displeasure as she sighs and takes to her feet, confronting the small and very unhappy girl before us. It seems to be so close, only to be interrupted. Eve. EILEEN's sister takes little notice, directing her pouting towards the object of her annoyance. Me. She's my sister. I finally get to play with EILEEN after so long, and you keep hugging her. Want to play, do you? She's such a good child. EILEEN flits behind Eve while she's busy ranting at me, bringing her arms around the child's midsection and lifting her up against her chest with ease. As Eve finds her feet dangling a couple of inches from the carpet, she begins flailing about to grab a foothold. Let go of me! Wow, you haven't grown at all. That'll definitely help her calm her down. To no surprise, the two start fighting. Eve's slight body jerking this way and that as EILEEN plants her feet and refuses to let go despite her squirming around. I'll tell Mom on you. And what? She'll ground me. Eve fruitlessly continues to struggle, arms and legs flailing about in the air. For all her frustration and growling, her acting out just makes EILEEN all the more amused as she teases her little sister. Watching the two having their little sibling scuffle, it reminds me of my brothers at home. For the first time, my nerves about being here fade a little. No, we can't sleep together. Sitting on the side of the bed I'll be using for a week, I idly watch the news on the small television placed on a cabinet. The little speakers on the device try valiantly, but the voices are so tiny I can barely understand them. It's 10:30 in the evening, going by the clock in the corner of the broadcast. Adulthood's weird, now that I can go to sleep whenever I want without my parents disapproving. I dutifully do so at a reasonable time anyway so I can be fresh for school. The fact I'm actually watching the news nowadays too is strange. Bored of the reports about trucks being stuck after sliding around the roads, I let myself flop back onto the soft blankets as it drones on. Lacking the energy to do much else, I lazily stare upwards. Yet another unfamiliar ceiling above me. It feels like everything is constantly changing these days. My old home sure didn't have a guest bedroom, let alone one that's so nicely furnished. Here I was thinking I'd be squeezing into EILEEN's bed. Not that I'd have minded that at all. Aww. For all the lovely things she has here, though, EILEEN seems to be intentionally trying to distance herself from her parents. I don't understand it at all. She might have told me not to pry into her life, but it's hard to ignore what's right in front of my face. No, settle down. I quickly shuffle myself up at the sound of the opening door sliding across the carpet. Oh, she's here. We're getting some action again. With a gentle touch, EILEEN gingerly closes the door behind her. I thought everyone to be asleep by now, but maybe I should have expected her of all people to still be up. EILEEN? She puts a finger over her lips as she turns back, before walking up, climbing onto the bed and facing me as I twist around. The two of us end up sitting in its center. Shouldn't you be sleeping? Same goes for you. She has me there, far from the quiet feeling awkward. I find myself laugh, smiling at our secret rendezvous. It feels like we're kids having a sleepover. Too bad the movie's just news instead of some horror movie we snuck past our parents. You did that? Once. My friends were so freaked out we went back to the usual horrible romance stuff. There's nothing wrong with romance movies. Her face makes it abundantly clear this is a difference of opinion that'll never be bridged. I have to admit, there is one thing different to back then too. Eileen's body is really hard to ignore when we're like this. As much as I try to distract myself from the subject, she did sneak into my bedroom at night. Ahem. What's wrong? Nothing, it's just you're really pretty. Really? Oh, she's blushing. It isn't often I catch her being bashful, but I think this might finally be one of those signs. Ooh la la. We're getting it. My moment of victory is brief though, with Eileen's quick movement towards me taking me all the more off guard. Oop. Unable to make sense of the girl suddenly lunging at me, the both of us are sent falling backwards into the soft mattress. Aww. So cute. Her bags though. It takes a couple of seconds to collect myself and work out what's happened. Time seeming to stop as I'm left staring upwards at the pair of emerald eyes above me. I'm pinned, I think. A brief attempt to right myself ends in little more than a couple of weak jerks. Eileen holding my arms to the thick sheets with her body weight. Silence reigns, my vision filled with her face looking downwards. I have no idea what to say as my heart beats wildly in my chest. Yet she doesn't say a word. Eileen, what are you? I missed you. Mama. How am I supposed to respond to that? Her face any different? I think it an invitation, but there's a sincerity there that takes me off guard. I wonder how often I've seen her face, or anyone's, from this close, and for so long. I can't help but stare upwards, trying my best to read that face I so often can't. As I do, though, I realize something. She's doing just the same. Maybe she's scared of forcing me to do something I don't want to do, or afraid of getting too close too fast. Maybe she's simply like I am, unused to being looked at this intently. Either way, she isn't leering over me. Eileen's genuinely unsure what to do next. Oh. So last time we just slept naked. Maybe this time we could get the real action. Whatever the reason, I can't help but smile a little. Wanna do it? Did I say something wrong? I was just thinking how you're still the same as ever. What's that supposed to mean? I answer her confusion by lifting my chin a little in invitation. Not that I can move much more. We kissed. Without any further prompting needed, she presses her lips to mine with a satisfied sigh. It isn't long before our tongues move about, her breath tingling on my face. I squirm about roughly as the atmosphere gets heavier between us, Eileen easily keeping me down. It's a little exciting to be playing like this, and she knows no signs of letting up. A shiver runs up my spine as I find her tie between my legs and my fidgeting about, my heart beginning to race with ideas of this and that. That's natural. With lips affectionately breaking and meeting, Eileen barely letting me take so much as a breath, I can't help but think back to the first time we did this. Nope. Oh no. And several sharp thuds against the door ring out. My entire body freezes, my heart nearly jumping out of my chest. The both of us freeze up as I break from our kissing to look over, hoping against hope that the door doesn't creak open. She knows. It's getting late, Allison. Why now, of all times? I can only thank my lucky stars that we've been quiet. But being one door handle turned from being seen like this is far too close for comfort. Oh, right. Sorry, I'll go to bed soon. Oh, I thought she knew Eileen was here. That was remarkably more natural than I thought I'd be able to pull it off. Thank you. If you need anything, just ask. Sleep well. Thanks. Good night. As our footsteps go down the hallway, the both of us heave a great sigh. The mood's completely gone as the both of us look to each other. I suppose this is one benefit of EILEEN having her own apartment. Yep. So sad. I run my hands through my hair to settle myself down as EILEEN sits back on the bed, wisely letting a few minutes go by before trying to slip out of my room. I also miss living alone. You said it. Well, that was annoying. See you tomorrow, I guess. Have a good sleep. Kiss? With that, she slips off the bed, quietly shuffling across the room before pausing a moment before turning the handle. As I pick myself up to wish her a good night, she curtly turns back. To be honest, I think you look really pretty too. I don't manage to form a reply before she skitters out of the room. Then again, my scarlet cheeks probably did the job for me. And that's that. And that was another night of no action. I thought they did the thing after the shower. And so hopefully they do manage to get their romantic date, romantic night. Goodbye.